Hello and welcome to yet another Friday Vitruveo download. Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Good morning, everyone. Nice to see everybody. We've got an exciting download to review today. A lot to go through, Nick.
Yes, lots to go through, and I must say this week has passed in a flash. It could be because I'm Mr. Mom again. My wife is tending to her mom in India, so things tend to move fast when you got your whole schedule filled with a lot of things. But also been working pretty hard on some very key smart contracts and things like that, and working with the dev team to bring some cool changes that we can demo today. So excited
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
How's your week going? You got fires to deal with, you got earthquakes to deal with, and what else?
Yeah, it's been a wild week in Southern California. It's we've had a lot of fires, and my boys had school complications and all of that because the fires are very close to their school. So, but it's all good. In California, we always go through in the fall. It's fire season, or known as fire season. So we border kind of close into the Sierra Mountains, and they always get dried out during the summer. So it's we're kind of used to it. It's just fire season. So as long as it doesn't get too close, but the fire departments here are amazing, and they're always on top of it.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. But
All
this
right,
week
I
flew
think,
by so fast. I don't know what happened this week, but it was just a blur. And
yeah,
I feel like, there were times where you and I hadn't even talked in 2 days, and we're just like, just knee deep in all of these things that we're trying to push out. And in some cases, we got a lot done. In other cases, we're just like, okay, we can. There's only so many hours in the day, but
yeah.
I feel like we got some cool things to present today.
Yeah, I think for those who have never been in a startup, need to understand that that's pretty much the life of in a startup. Like you've got your top priority things. There's always It's always full, and it's always a choice between what do you tackle first and what do you tackle next, and inevitably some things you can't get done. And earlier in my career, I would be very disappointed and be very hard on myself about that. But then I realized that you can only say things yes to so much, and you have to be able to say no, and you have to be able to accept that reality doesn't always match your perception of how things will flow. In fact, it almost all never does, where you in your mind it's going to flow smoothly. But especially in tech, every step of the way there's some curveball or something that comes up, and so you learn to roll with it, and that's, I think, the best way to deal with it is to kind of adapt as you go and make sure that you deal with your high priority items consistently, but don't fret if things don't get done in time. That's what I've learned.
It's really funny because prior to joining the team, I as an outsider, you just try to catch up on the downloads, and you're always left with what about this, and what about this, and what about sex listing, what about VC funding, what about all of these things that are absolutely important. And it's only until you kind of get knee deep into the project that you go, oh my God, there's so much to do leading up to those things. And you think that things are, just kind of simple, but they're not. They're actually very complicated. And as soon as you start to tackle one project and you give a deadline, and then all of a sudden there's all these other issues that come up, and you're like, oh my God, I can't skip this step. Like, we have to do this. And it's we try our best not to have egg on our face, with dates and stuff like that, but it's inevitable, and we just try to do our best.
I just love the pace. I just love, I would not want the opposite of it, which is sitting around wondering what to do next. There is absolutely never that scenario. It's always like, oh my God, I barely have time to get this done. And I love it. I love it because
Yeah.
it fits my personality very well. That's how I like to live life also. I don't want to be idle. I just want to live life to its fullest. So let's get going here.
Let's
Let's
do it.
bring our thing. All right, everyone, welcome. This is the Vitruveo Download, Season 4, Episode 11. Oh my gosh, Episode 11 already. This
Yep.
is September. Oh, I got the date wrong there. It's September 13th. Sorry about that. We'll have to edit that in the deck. The download where we review all the events of the past week and then give you updates on what is coming up and insights and also take your questions. So I'm Nick Kalyani, founder and CEO, and with me is Mike Purdy, our COO. Let's just dive right into it. Our first topic, which I'm really, really excited about, this was a huge thing, is yesterday we had a live session where we had a record 1,240 live viewers. Folks, in previous downloads, I have explained to you how most businesses have a marketing strategy for customer acquisition. In our case, our customers are creators, are artists. So we have a customers acquisition strategy where instead of trying to do marketing traditionally, where we do ads and things like that, we go about it in a very simple manner. One of the things that, in fact, the most important thing that artists care about is income. So on Thursdays, every Thursday, I have a buying blitz. We have the community curate artworks. Then we have artists within the community select some artwork, those curations, and then we have artists present with us on the live stream, and we do a buying blitz and really help creators understand in the process of that live stream what Vitruveo is about, how our platform works, and also how we are working our way towards long-term income for creators. So I'm very, very happy that yesterday was our largest ever viewership, and I expect that that will continue. I expect that it will not be very long before we are hitting, multiple thousands of viewers there. Mike, what did you think of yesterday's session? Of course, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our dear friend Southern Fried was there giving us company, and luckily we were able to speak once in a while. She herself admits that she speaks a lot, so it was a
She
great.
was great. Yeah, she was great. In terms of like, uh, when you have people on the spaces and stuff like that, some people are a little flat, but she is just full of personality and full of excitement, and it was just a nice change, But she's awesome. She's done a lot for the community. She has a great story. So if you have some time, you can revisit the live stream. But yeah, it was incredible to see. At one point, we were, I think our largest audience at that point was 800 and something, and now we're up to over 1,200. So it was just super exciting to see the engagement. We did a lot of educating. We did obviously the buying blitz, and it was just great. I feel like the community's starting to solidify. We're building a nice solid base, which is really what the goal is for the BUSD grants, is really to build our creator base, build our product line for that vertical. And it was great. The excitement was contagious. So I was happy to see everybody.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite times of the week. In addition to Friday, I love doing this also, but Thursday has a definite different charm, and a different, dare I say, vibe. So yeah, I love it. All right, let's move on to a topic that I know we've been talking about for weeks now, for months even, and it's time to get some numbers down. So it took some time this week to finalize the analysis that we've been doing, and it's time to share that with you. So let's go into that. All right. So what we have here is a table that discusses our circulating supply in terms of locked versus active. Locked basically means that it is effectively unusable right away. Active means it's liquid. It's usable right away. It is in your wallet and it is free form. So we basically divided our circulating supply, which is 60 million. So on the day our blockchain went live, Genesis, that was October last year, 60 million coins Vitru were created, and they were effectively distributed among various different placeholder wallets, and then in turn distributed to other wallets and other NFTs and contracts and so on. So that's the picture you see here. So starting with the top section with locked, we have three categories there: vesting, staked, and perks. So vesting is essentially what you see as core NFTs. You have Nexus, Maxim, Dreamer, Benefactor, and Trooper, and Steward, and Validator. So those are the seven core NFTs we have right now. And we have at now these numbers here, if you go and look right now, they're probably going to be different because it's a fluid thing. These are a snapshot in time from yesterday, but directionally, approximately, they're going to be about the same, but they won't be exactly to the last decimal sort of accurate because things keep changing. But there are 13.3 million in in that are in a vesting state. That's about 22% of our 60 million. And then we have staked. So we have started effective staking programs recently, and we have 6 million, just slightly over 6 million coins that are staked at this point. We also have a very large perks pool for different constituents. We have it for validators, we have it for boosters, and those perks are vesting over a 2-year period. Now, I think perks is probably the most confusing thing, so I'm going to spend a minute here to talk about it. Here's the thing. We haven't yet surfaced the ability for you to claim perks in scope. And the only reason for that is resources. We just haven't had the resources to build out that because it is slightly complicated. The way perks works is if you are eligible for a perk, separate from the validators don't count in this because they have a different system. But if you are eligible for a perk, and if you claim before the 24 months is up, what you are signaling to the contract is that you are opting out of any vesting of the perks. So it is literally, okay, I want whatever I have claimed so far, my perks, and I'm done. I don't want to be part of the perks program. So since it is sort of a disincentive to claim, we felt that it would be okay to delay implementation of the perks in scope, because I don't know too many people who would want to take on that at this early juncture where they claim and it means that they forfeit the remainder of it, right? It makes no sense at all. So we'll get it done probably within the next 60 days. We'll have that implemented. But just to make sure that everyone is aware that the perks pool is a 24-month vesting. And if you wait until the very end, then you get all of your perks that you're due for. But if you claim any time prior to that, you forfeit the remainder, whatever was remaining. So that's perks. That's 23% of the supply. Then we go on to the treasury, where we have different pools. We have an operations pool. So generally, this is our working kind of pool where we pay, for example, any token-based salaries, any fees we have to pay to sexes, etc. All of that comes from there. Also, any investor capital that comes in would be coming from there. The next line item is allocated. Allocated simply means that there are still pools of coins that people are eligible for, but we haven't gotten around to issuing them out. And what will happen when they are issued out is that they will they will mostly, a vast majority of it, I would say 98 to 99% of it, is going to end up in that top row, the vesting row or the stake row. They are not going to end up in active supply. So there you have things like partners, you have team members, etc. We've just dragged our feet a little bit upon that because there's no huge urgency. Everyone realizes that they're just going to hold on to it anyway. They are not going to be going and flipping it or anything like that. So we'll get it done, and you will see that number change. And as I mentioned, it will almost directly affect that vesting number, and that's the change there. Then we have a pool in the boosters contract that is waiting for whenever the boosters are used and activated. So until they are activated, the coins just sit there. Now, did attempt to activate the boosters with the this past week, but as I've expressed, there's a limitation to the size. We added some of the staking code to it, and so now the only option for us is to break up that contract uh, basically it's a little bit more work of refactoring the contract. It is not a quick thing. It's more like a week. It's going to take a week to get that done. So we'll get that done. I realize there's a lot of people who are waiting to exercise those boosters, and we'll make that happen. All right. The next section is contracts. So there are contracts in the upper sections also, but these are in particular need to be called out. So we have a VUSD contract. So VUSD being a stable coin. So that's what we use for artwork collection. And that contract is collateralized because when someone buys an artwork for $1, then the equivalent amount of Vitru at the prevailing price is delivered to the artist's vault. So that's dynamic. That's all in real time. And our goal is to monitor that VUSD every few days and make sure that the collateral is at approximately 125%. It might be a little lower right now. We'll take care of it on the weekend. What we do is we move funds from the operations in Treasury into that VUSD contract. So we always make sure that if, for example, 100% of the VUSD that is there in that contract that has been assigned to crypto investors to buy artworks is used up, that the Vitru to back it up, the collateral, is always going to be there. So that's the VUSD line. And the last but not the least is the wrap Vitru line. So that's where the wrapping of Vitru into wrap Vitru happens in order to be able to trade on the DEX. That is governed by the circuit breaker right now. So it's kind of low. And our goal is, of course, to phase out that circuit breaker over time, but now is not the time. We do pay attention to the price, and we see it trend down, but it's trending down slowly. And what we will do is effectively manage it once in a while. We'll give it a boost there with liquidity when needed. So what we have then is a locked controlled supply of, get this, 56.2 million. So that is amazing for an L1 protocol to have such a large amount of the supply effectively locked or controlled, so it's not active. Our active supply, folks, is only 3.77 million, a small number, 6.29% of our overall circulating supply. And we understand that there are regular claims made, both, let's say, for Vibe, for vesting, there are perks given out, etc. But it's a slow trickle, and it is exactly what we want. We want the active supply to gradually go up and not go up in huge chunks. So we estimate that by the time we hit the centralized exchanges, maybe we'll have added, I don't know, 500,000 to that, maybe less than that. But we want to keep that pretty managed, and it's important for us to keep that managed. So let's look at this in a bit more detail. So what's going to happen? How do we manage this active supply? So at the left, I've put the chart as it was, but I've put the main 5 main categories of or sources rather of coins entering from a locked state or a controlled state into the active supply. So we've got vesting claims. Anyone can go and claim anytime they want. We've got perks grants. Consistently every month, we are granting coins to validators, for example. That's their primary income because we have very low gas. So as incentive, we have perks and things like that. The VUSD art buys, like, for example, when I buy our artworks on Thursdays in bulk, that whole amount gets immediately translated into Vitru that is available to artists. But what are we doing there? Well, we educate artists about long-term income strategies, and we help them understand that it is probably not the best thing to try and go wrap it and flip it. It's probably the lousiest action anyone can take right now is to take the Vitru that they have and to try and flip it. Then we have the booster claims, and finally we have the treasury allocations. So basically, what we want to do as a team here is to introduce current and new staking incentive programs. That's it. So we already have announced that we're going to do the 1, 3, and 5 year staking, but we're going to do more than that. You're going to see constantly ways to incentivize long-term thinking, long-term holding, and really make sure that we keep our active supply low. Because here's what happens, folks. I'll get to the dormant wallet. So if we effectively manage the supply, then it translates into good sex performance. Uh, that's not the right way to say it. Good centralized exchange performance. Um, and that is better for the ecosystem long term and overall for every one of us, everyone, regardless of what your role is in the ecosystem. It's the best possible outcome. So that's what we want. We want to effectively manage the active supply, and you can do your part by saying, okay, you are very lucky and very fortunate to be in a very early stage with an L1 blockchain with significant long-term potential. You could get rid of your Vitru, or you could invest it. And we are hoping that people will invest it. Now, going back to the dormant wallets, let's talk about that a little bit. We've been studying those. Now we have the final numbers, at least at present. They will change by the end of the month. So we have a total of 9,000 core NFTs. Those are the vesting NFTs. Of that, the calculated dormant core NFTs are 1,696. So approximately 18 point, almost 20%. Almost 20% of the NFTs that are sitting in the core NFT contract are dormant. They have no activity. The average size of each of these grants is 450. It's pretty small. And the total amount of the dormant grants is 760,280. So what we are estimating is, this number is going to change a little bit, but we have our vesting supply of 13.33, right? That's how much is in the contract in the first row of the prior table I showed you. So on September 30th, whatever that number is, on October 1st, we will have subtracted this 760K. So that number is going to go down. What happens to those 760K? They go right back into the treasury. So, and they become available for rewards and other programs. So I'm going to go right back to this table for a minute here, and I'm going to give Mike an opportunity to talk because he speaks very eloquently about this topic. So, and also I get to have a sip of chai.
Yeah, so I think this is really, really good information for us as an ecosystem, because the whole problem that we had building up to this point is we had a lot of people have been wondering, why don't we just list on a SEX? Yes, we can list on a SEX. That's not the issue. The main issue is that we had, because of the previous project, and we kind of adopted everybody, we had just a massive amount of circulating supply that was going to be dumped on day one, which would just literally tank our price, and it would be a very, very long struggle, just to kind of build upwards, because everybody would be dumping. So our strategy was really to strengthen the price at SEX launch by really offering other incentives for the holders. We're a little unique. We're not just starting from scratch. This was kind of a rescue operation from our previous project. And so we had all of that debt that we brought on to the chain. But the great news is that we've come out with some really strong solutions in order to incentivize holders by doing revenue sharing on the blockchain, which really doesn't exist outside of maybe a validator or something like that. This really gives us a chance to start the SEX with a healthy price. And we will still have some sell pressure, but not near as what we would have had. So to me, this is really, really good news. And I've been working on this, with Nick and also with Age. We've really been trying to manage the circulating supply number. And so if you wonder why all the delays for SEX and that sort of thing, we see all the comments in Discord, and we agree with you. We want to get to central exchange as quickly as possible, but we have to do it in a way that's responsible to the price. Otherwise, it's going to go to pennies, and that doesn't really benefit anyone. We want a really nice, healthy chart at launch. And so, we obviously do have to launch on our DEX just to get things started, and that's another reason why we had the circuit breaker in place. Some people are still complaining about the circuit breaker, and why are we on a SEX, and why is it so difficult to wrap? it's all about liquidity, guys. If we had 30 million in liquidity, we wouldn't have this the circuit breaker. But when we have limited funds, we really need to make sure that we're protecting liquidity, our operating capital. Otherwise, we don't have a chain. We can't go to market, and so we have to have these. We have to get the coin launched. We have to generate volume. We have to get activity on the decks as well. Build out the code for the wrap Vitru. We just have to get everything set up for SEX listing. But in the meantime, we have to protect the little liquidity that we have. And so that's why we have, certain restrictions in place. But not to worry, SEX is coming very quickly towards the end of the year, and that's really our goal. So the last, I feel like 4 to 6 months have really been trying to strengthen our circulating supply and get it in line for a healthy price after SEX listing. So yeah, I mean that kind of encapsulates everything.
Yeah, thanks. I think a lot of the comments, etc., that I see in Discord, etc., are very tactical in nature. They are really about when will you do this, when you do this, and it's important for people to understand that this is an ecosystem. It's a protocol. It's not a single token project, and that requires a lot of strategic thinking, and for us to think 2, maybe 4 steps ahead about what will happen if we do this, etc. So we can't just make willy-nilly decisions about, oh, let's go ahead and pull the trigger on this, because it's guaranteed you pull this lever and it has an impact on some other thing. So you have to decide ahead of time which levers you're going to pull, when you're going to pull them, and how much you're going to pull them. It's much like, I think, I've never flown a plane, but I would suspect it would be like that, where you make a decision and you see the impact a little later, but there's a lot of cross dependencies, etc. So I'm very happy with this outcome here. I wouldn't call it, I guess, an outcome. It's the current state, because it's a constantly changing thing. But I feel that we have successfully managed the active supply, and we are very keen on continuing to manage it. And there's one very important point to make there. We don't want to manage it at the cost of the stakeholders, whether it's a creator or a crypto investor. We want to do it while rewarding you. So in other words, if you're going to make that sacrifice and be with us for the long term, we want to make sure that there's incentives for you, right? So the upside has to be there. Otherwise, it's pointless. So be assured that anytime we are managing the supply, we are also thinking about how can we benefit all the stakeholders. So eventually, if you're holding on, then you're going to see a bigger upside than you would if you were to just dump right now. Like, that's clearly how we think, and I just want to make that commitment to you. All right, now it's time for some fun. Okay, let's talk about brands. So let's start off by exploring where we are and what we've got going. So with Vitruveo, we have a protocol. That's our foundation. And in the course of the past 6 months, we have kind of coalesced our thinking around bringing two verticals, two primary verticals into play here. The first one is creator-centric, it's arts, and the second one is gaming. So at different times, we've had sort of multiple verticals we've thought about, etc. But now, after almost 3 months of very detailed kind of thinking about this, and really entering the market and getting market feedback, etc., we are very clear. Our strategy now is very crisp and very, very clear. We have two verticals on Vitruveo. We have arts and we have gaming. Now, is there room for all kinds of other things like DeFi, etc.? Of course, it's a protocol. It's open. This is what we are talking about in terms of managing the business. And we talk about managing the circulating supply, etc. So in terms of managing the growth of the protocol and the adoption of getting people on board and growing the ecosystem, the two verticals we see are arts and gaming. So I'm going to take on arts and tell you a little bit about our brand strategy there. And then Mike is going to tell you the strategy around gaming. So let's get going. So for our protocol, we've got the name Vitruveo. We've got a great logo. And by the way, all the branding, etc. I want to start by giving a shout out to Adrian H. He's done a fantastic job, really, at envisioning some really crisp and modern and timeless brand identities for us. So thank you, H. All right, so we've got Vitruveo. We've got a great logo there. That's the protocol. That's the familiar logo we have. We express it in black and white, but we also have the purple variant of it for use. All right, now let's talk about the arts aspect of it. So in the arts section of it, right now, and you can probably remember a download not very long ago where I presented these as a new brand identity. So we have the overall suite, Vitru Suite. We have Vitru Studio, where you go to consign your artwork. We have Vitru Search, where you go to discover your artwork. We have Vitru Store, where you go and license and buy your artwork. And then coming in the future, we have Vitru Stream, where you display your artwork. Now, I have no qualms as a startup founder admitting that sometimes you jump the gun a little bit and you do things thinking they are the best thing, but then you go to market and you find out that actually the decision you made was not the best one. In this case, these brand identities are individually are amazing. They are very good, but they are a source of confusion because it's very hard for creators who are coming in here to grapple with this identity. What is this? Is this Vitruveo? Is this Vitru Suite? Is this Studio, etc.? So even though this was a recent decision, etc., we decided that it's time to take a step back and look at what is in the best interest of our product strategy, our long-term product strategy, and most importantly, our customers. And if you look at the current sort of crypto ecosystem, you can see how it's better to make these decisions sooner rather than later. I'm, of course, referring to Matic and Polygon and the long drawn-out brand challenge that they went through. Had they made that decision very early, it would have been easy. So we are deciding here today that it's better for us to admit that we went out on a wrong journey here, and to retract and course correct a little bit. So that's what we are talking about here today. So great logos, but source of confusion. So what do? Well, what we want to do is give it one brand identity. And what we want to do is have each of these things not be their own brands, but be a feature. So we don't have a suite anymore. What we want to have is a brand name. And then we have a feature of it is Studio, a feature of it is Search, and a feature of it is Store, and a feature of it is Stream. So the platform has one brand identity, and in it are these different features. This has the obvious advantage of enabling us to easily add features as we go without having to reinvent the brand and things like that. So that's kind of where we're going. And I'm very excited here today to introduce our new brand for the art section, and that is Exhibit. So that's our logo, and that is the unique spelling we have for it. And it represents a creator, it represents art, a splash of color. And overall, it's a very powerful logo. It's very simple and very exciting. And I'd love to hear your feedback, especially from creators. So what we'll have moving forward is Exhibit and a feature after it. And so let's see, this is what it would look like. So you'd have Exhibit Studio, Exhibit Search, Exhibit Store, and Exhibit Stream, and then whatever else might come after it. But we really like the very subtle use of color there. And as I mentioned, it represents a little bit of paint splash there, kind of like in your art studio. And of course, the X represents a person, but we wanted to be a little different. And so we have the cutout there to represent sort of an independent persona, which every creator has and be a little unique. So that's it. We're excited about that, and I wanna show you uh, what it might look like in the future. We have decided we want to dabble into hardware also a little bit. So when we have a hardware device for displaying art, the logo is going to be very minimalist, very simple there in the corner. So it's not too far into the future where you will be able to hang an exhibit display in your wall. Exhibit to us, just going back a little bit here, represents quite a bit because it talks about really taking the overall features that we have, studio search, store stream, and talking about the end result. What is it that we want? We want people in the world to see, view, experience, and appreciate art. So we want to exhibit art made by creators to the world, and that's essentially what our mission is. When we do that successfully, we will have our long-term goal of enabling income, sustainable income for creators met. So I hope you like it. I We are going to have this at exhibit.app. There's nothing right now. We'll get it there. I'm sure any domains that you find, people are already registered them right now, so that's fine. We are okay with that. But what we want to do is make sure that from a communication standpoint, it's exhibit on Vitruveo. It's no different than when you have say a marketplace like Foundation. It's Foundation on Ethereum or Object on Tezos and so on and so forth. So Exhibit is our platform. It's not a marketplace. I just want to make sure everyone's still focused on it not being a marketplace. It's a platform. So Exhibit is a platform. It's our solution. It's our vertical for arts, and it's on Vitruveo. Mike, what do you think about the logo?
I love it. This was a team collaboration, both for this vertical as well as the gaming vertical, and we were really racking our brains trying to come up with something that was innovative and different, unique, and I think it's brandable. I think it's a strong brand. And when you and I talked, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, when we were going through the investor deck that we're preparing for VCs and doing all of that, the ecosystem seemed just very convoluted and very complicated. And we started that conversation about trying to simplify things and really bring things into three separate verticals. When you would go to the Vitruveo website, there was just so much information, and it was just very kind of confusing to wrap your brain around things. And so we really did want to make a clear distinction between Vitruveo, the protocol, meaning the blockchain, the layer one blockchain, the art vertical, and then the gaming vertical. And we wanted to really separate those things and not have so many brands. And I think this accomplishes that perfectly. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I'm super excited about this. I'm sure we'll talk about this at future events also. But let's move on. All right. Now, so this is what it looks like now. So we have the arts exhibit, we have the protocol, Vitruveo, and Mike, I'm gonna hand it off to you now to talk about gaming.
Perfect. So with the gaming vertical, we really wanted to again simplify things. We obviously we had Vortex, which was kind of our native game, and we wanted to have also a gaming vertical where it's not just about our games. We really do want to have our own vertical, really, and just where other developers can come aboard, take advantage of the rebasing components and some of the technology that we're offering. And so we really needed to come up with a really marketable brand. And Nick, Age, me, we really racked our brains trying to come up with something, and it was very difficult because do we go the Vitruveo route and start introducing things that end in EO or VEO or go down that route? And we really decided to keep it very separate. And so let's move forward. So we came up with Vlox Gaming. Vlox is a combination of V, obviously, for Vitruveo, and the lock suffix is more ties to blockchain or blocks. And so we really wanted to come up with something very short, something very concise, something that is brandable, and something that's a little edgy and modern. We didn't want to go too literal on it. We really wanted to do something fun and something very easy. So we ended up going up with Vlox Gaming. So I want to just touch a little bit on Web3 gaming. The chart on the left are the top video game companies, the top 40, and what they're doing with Web3. And what you'll see is that the market size in 2023 right now is $26 billion. This is massive, you guys. This is the gaming market is huge. And the current growth rate right now is about 19% per year. So it's just constantly growing. And in 2032, the market size is projected to be $125 billion, which is just insane. Now, if you look at the chart, the green and the yellow are companies that either have a Web3 presence or they are in works with building a Web3 presence. So Web3 is definitely a huge target for the top 40 gaming companies. And we feel that Vitruveo can really capitalize on this. And so we're not just going to come out with our own native games, but we are, as I mentioned before, we're going to come out with other grants and that sort of thing, really to help other companies or developers build on chain, and that we can really build out this part of the ecosystem. So that way we have the art division, we have the gaming division, and then of course we have the protocol. And then as time progresses, we're also going to have other verticals as well. But those are going to be the two main verticals that we're going to start with. So as you can see here, we have Vitruveo, which is the main protocol. That's our technology, and that's our layer 1 EVM blockchain. Exhibit is going to be our art vertical, and then we have Vlox Gaming as the gaming vertical.
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I hope everyone else loves it too. I have, it's so hard to have these and then keep it. Keep it.
I know.
You know, it's really
I know.
hard. I teased yesterday. I put a blank T, and it was interesting. People came up with trust and vault and other names like that, but we knew that in order, at least now, common words are no longer available as brands. They are, you have to have unique words, and I'm very happy with this. I really like what Age has done in terms of the consistency. We've got the cut through effect on both of them, so the negative space, if you will, like that. And also, especially the gaming one has a very controller feel to it. It's got the controller buttons there, right there in the logo. And honestly, I imagine animators are going to do some amazing things with that logo. Even with the exhibit logo, we can do some amazing things with it, especially with the person there and things like that. Yeah. So this now comes the hard part, at least for in terms of exhibit. We have to go and change all the logos and the email templates and the software, etc. But Mike, I think it would be good to address for people who are curious, where does Vortex fit into Vlox Gaming? How is that contextually gonna work?
Yeah, so Vlox obviously is going to be the main brand for Vitruveo blockchain for the gaming division. And under that, we're going to have games. Now we're going to have native games, and then we'll also have games from other developers that will come on chain. Our first native game is going to be Vortex. And obviously that's currently in development. And so the way you can kind of see it is you have, Vitruveo is the main protocol. You have Vlox Gaming, and then there will be Vortex, and then a myriad of other games that are going to fall underneath that vertical. So that's kind of how everything is going to tie together.
That's great. Yeah. So what that means is that the analogy, and pardon me because I'm not heavily into gaming, so I just want to say, so Vlox Gaming is like a studio essentially, right? Which
Hmm.
could have
Yep,
many different games uh,
that's right.
published. Yeah, and uh, on the parallel side, Exhibit is the platform that has all the artworks consigned. We'll have our own ways to stream, etc., but we invite other partners who have different applications to build on top of Exhibit. We've got this rich source of artworks with an API, etc., and we'll extend it out to anybody and everybody who wants to access those artworks. And we have the ability to create licenses on the fly. So we'll have hundreds of different types of licenses, and creators can choose that. I want to license my artwork for these 5 things or these 10 things. And remember, it's about monetizing your artwork forever versus the current NFT one and done thing. We want every time you create an artwork, we want you, we want it to be making you money every single day of your life and beyond. That's basically what our business model is. All right, so this is very good, very exciting to showcase these brands. Let's go on. Time
Okay,
for
let's
a Vortex update.
let's do a vortex update. Let's go to the next slide. So we'll just give you guys a quick update. We had a target date of September 15th. I threw out a minor update a few days ago, just letting you know that we're running into some development challenges. So we need to do a little bit more further development. And this was my decision to put the brakes on this, just so you know. So don't blame Nick or anybody else. This was my decision to put the brakes. We really don't want to compromise you guys. We don't want to skip steps. We don't want to just throw out a game. I had a great conversation with a really influential gaming influencer, and these people have corporate sponsorships. They have huge, massive corporate deals, a very big following base, and they're very big in Web3. And I had a 2-hour conversation with her. She's on board, which is awesome. And I really wanted to pick her brain with, our vision of Vortex as well as the gaming vertical, and really wanted to get some feedback from her on kind of some of the things that we were proposing. And it was just an incredible meeting. I really had a chance to get a better feel of where some of the holes are in Web3 gaming right now. And it caused me to rethink a few things. And then, so we kind of took a step back from our original plan on what we wanted to do. And we just felt that we want to create a game that's actually really fun to play, that's highly addictive, that's just a play to earn where you could earn extra revenue. And it just doesn't make sense to rush this. So we took a little bit of a step back. We're going to be developing out, or we're in development for the land page. We're finalizing the branding, which is coming together nicely. We do want to incorporate VO integration. So obviously we just came out with VO, so we need to somehow integrate that. And then so we're tying those two together. We obviously do want to produce marketing collateral and a roadmap for marketing. We don't want to just launch something and then hope it sticks. We really do want to have a strategic plan in order to market the game and to market the land claim portion. So I've been working on developing that marketing strategy, and all next week, Nick and I are going to be working on this. So we had to get through, quite a few things this past week or a couple of weeks. Now we really are ready to focus 100% on Vortex, which is really exciting. And we also want to produce a teaser video. We don't want to just give stats, tokenomics, maybe a couple of screenshots. We actually do want to deliver some sort of exciting video that accompanies the marketing, and that's just going to take a little bit more time. So sit tight. It's coming together nicely. I'm really happy that we are taking a little bit of a step back in order to strengthen the original concept, and not just kind of rush it and throw something out. So that's the Vortex update, but this is going to be our highest priority next week. So we do expect that we'll have some pretty significant updates next Friday. So stay tuned for that.
So Mike, 2 points. One,
yes,
I don't know if you remember or if others in the community remember, many moons ago, I had said in a download that we want to partner with one of South Asia's key gaming influencers, etc. Well, guess what? That at that time the timing wasn't right, but the person Mike is talking to and talking about right now is exactly that same person. So it just was a matter of time to get that connected. And second,
Yep.
I see a question here that I want to bring up right now because I think it's important for people to understand. And this is Slumdog Millionaire. Slumdog Millionaire asks, will Vibe share in revenue of gaming? So I want to be crystal clear on this. All right. Vibe is going to be the most important token in crypto. Forget about just Vitruveo, in crypto, because it represents perpetual lifetime revenue share of an L1 protocol, current and future. So the answer is any kind of revenue that comes by way of the protocol, it's going to go the Vibe way. You're going to get that. So it is extremely important, if you can, to get your hands on some Vibe, because right now it's bargain. It's a bargain. Given the plans we have, I think Vibe is going to be huge.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. It's not just going to be a play to earn. There are going to be so many different caveats to the Vortex, but you got to imagine it, guys. Our original vision was really just to come out with a blockchain for creators, right? We've really started to not only simplify that, but expand it. And in going through our investor decks, whenever Nick and I we're getting everything in line for the VC pitches, right? So whenever we were redesigning the investor deck, we started to see we've really got to simplify things. We've really got to focus on a strong brands and simplify everything. So it's very easy to explain and very easy to wrap your brain around. However, we still have to have these innovative features, within the blockchain and within, these individual verticals. So I feel really confident that we've gotten there. We've gotten the right branding. We've simplified the protocol. We've dealt with the circulating supply issue to deal with sell pressure. And, I just think the future is really bright. I'm really excited on what's going to be happening over the next 30 to 60 days. But things are definitely coming together.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Let's continue. Now, let's talk about Exhibit Studio. See how that works? I love it. We have already transitioned. So let's go on. All right. So I see that people in the audience already saw this, but it's a very exciting news. We can now edit consignments. We are doing it in 2 phases. Today, you can go and edit price. It is live right now. And in the future, very near future, you'll be able to edit metadata. So let me show you how it works. I can't show you live because I don't have something consigned. I'll show you some screenshots. Basically, when you go into Studio, next to the licenses section, the button will say view/edit. All right. The others will still say view because you can view it, but you cannot edit. When you go in there, the NFT Art 1 license, remember, we have lots of different license types. Right now, we have only 3, but that's going to multiply a lot. We'll have the Elastic editions and unlimited editions still disabled because we are working on it. But what you can do is you can connect your wallet to edit, and it will allow you to edit your price. You hit confirm, sign your wallet transaction, and it's done. It will the change will be immediately reflected. Now, this is a feature that many people have asked for, and I'm very happy to deliver it. I expect we've tested it. It works. It may or may not work for you perfectly. If it doesn't, it's very important that you please go to our support, which is dreamburst.vitruveo.xyz. So you want to go to Telegram and report it. Please do not reply in some random Twitter post that I have posted with support questions. That is just poor etiquette. And I would appreciate if you not do that. as a general rule, you should know that if I've posted about, like maybe a buy blitz or something like that, and if you interject with a support question there, my standard protocol is to unfollow you, and if I'm not already following you, to mute you, so I will not see your posts again. This is because it's getting pervasive. There's too many people doing that, and I feel like if I'm very clear that support belongs in our Telegram and not in our DMs, not in our Twitter threads, then hopefully people will start getting the message. But I will 100% of the time unfollow you and mute you and also hide your reply if you post a support question in response to an unrelated thread. So just excited about this feature. We hope that we've got it right and there won't be any issues. But if there are any issues, let us know and we'll address them right away in our Telegram group, not in DMs, not in Twitter threads. All right. So, yeah. All right. That is it for the main change for today. All right. Let's go on then. The next thing we want to talk about is exhibit search. So we've constantly evolved search, and we continue to do that. Every 2 or 3 days, you see me talk about a new feature, and then by the end of the week, that feature is in place. We move very rapidly on it. And today, I'm very pleased to tell you about a new feature we have in search that is really getting us closer and closer to our end goal of making search sort of a marketing machine for art. So what I'm specifically talking about is stacks. The vision behind stacks was to create lots of different visualizations. So we have a video one, we have a gallery, and today I'm pleased to introduce that we now have a slideshow visualization. So let's talk a little bit about what that means, and then we'll get a quick demo of it. So stacks, first of all, let's back up and understand why we have them. So stacks are designed for marketing. That's their main purpose. There's no other purpose. It's eye candy, it's pretty, etc. But the main purpose is marketing. I have always consistently been on the record as stating that on Vitruveo, we expect artists to do no marketing. You consign your artwork, you spend your 15 to 20 minutes to provide excellent metadata, you're done. That's your job. The stacks is really designed for those users who have a goal to make money with the platform. And I'm specifically looking at 5 categories of users here. So affiliates. So who are affiliates? Affiliates is anyone who wants to market your artwork. They are not going to be an artist. They can be, but they are not. They're going to have either a business or an individual core audience, and they want to use your artworks as a way to make money. They have maybe a website or an Insta or something like that. Then we have partners. Over time, we will have partners, just like when we build out a display or we create some key marketing and distribution agreements. We'll have partners. We will certainly have independent curators. I think independent curators, there's quite a few of them, and this is a great way for them to make a sustainable income, is to curate and promote as many different stacks as possible, because every time you click on a stack, it takes you right back to search, and people can then monetize those artworks. And right now it's only licensed and NFT, but coming soon will be print, coming soon will be stream, and other ones also. And then our KOIs. KOIs are key online influencers. So we want to make stacks very visually attractive, so people have motivation to show them in videos, on live streams, and things like that, because we want it to be beautiful. And of course, last but not least, anyone who wants to create an exhibition with the artwork that they find on Vitruveo. It's not only us that is going to create exhibitions. Anyone is free to create an exhibition here. So think about exhibit and think about Vitruveo and the artworks here, very much parallel to open source model, where we build things, but anyone can build upon that, take advantage of that, and promote it. So the primary users of stacks are going to be all these folks with a goal to make money. right now, today, especially with the buying blitz, etc., creators are the primary users. Although in my slide, I say the secondary users of stacks with the goal of self-promotion are artists. Right now, we are still not there where we have the affiliates and partners and independent curators and KOIs and all of that, which is why you're doing it. But don't be misled. Don't think that the intent of stacks, the primary intent, is for you to go share on Twitter and all of that. I still see on X posts from creators saying, "Oh, I hope I get a sale on Vitruveo." That is just the wrong way to think about it, folks. Stop thinking about individual sales. That is not the way you're going to have a sustainable income. The way to think about it is, I've consigned my artwork. I belong in an ecosystem. Think about the tools we are giving you, etc., and think long term. You need to get beyond the individual sales because they really don't matter. In the big scheme of things, as we introduce our marketing initiatives, etc., you will start to see that the more carefully you think about how to invest your Vitru, how to understand and learn the staking and other programs, the more beneficial it's going to be for you in having a long-term sustainable icon. So it is time to stop thinking about individual sales, guys. That's not the way Vitruveo works. You may or may not get a sale on Vitruveo. No big deal. Join the party, join the celebration, elevate the ecosystem. Because remember, if you invest wisely, whether it's in Vitru or whether it's in Vibe, etc., when the ecosystem wins, you win. So we have created multiple pathways of success for you. You don't have to rely on an individual sale anymore. All right, so that's stacks for you. And so let's go and take a quick look at the slideshow feature. So we'll go into search here, and let's just refresh the page so we are seeing the current ones. Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck the group by creator. So we're going to see this. What do I have here? Let me refresh here and make sure. Oh, I know what I did. I was looking at a creator earlier. Okay, there we go. All right. So uncheck. And now we have the latest artworks. The way Curate Stack works is you turn on the switch here, and then you can go ahead and start selecting some artworks. So I'm going to pick a few. I like this one here. This looks interesting. Let's that's a square one. We'll pick that. Let's go and look at some other ones. We can pick that one too. Why not? Looks good. I like that one. This is minimalist and nice. Okay, so I have chosen 6 so far. Let me choose a couple more. I like that one. And we won't be making any political statements. Let's go. Let's choose that one. That's interesting. All right. So I've curated a stack now, and I'll need to sign in. So I'll go ahead and do that. Use that. Send code. We'll wait for that code to come in, and should be pretty quick. Waiting. It usually comes in faster on my mobile than my desktop, but I don't want to go looking at my phone right now. I guess I could do that. I'm not sure why it takes longer on my desktop. Probably because I got many more mailboxes on there.
It's pretty crazy, Nick. If you take a look at kind of our story,
yeah,
for our blockchain, that we're only 12 months in. Maybe a little over 12 months. And to think that we've built out so much, not only a rebasing protocol, which is super hard to build, right, in itself, but to also build out our other 2 verticals. Things are progressing pretty well. It took Ethereum a couple of years just to get their protocol done. And so what we've accomplished in a year with such a small team and limited funding is pretty awesome. But I just want to I want to get to sex. I want to get to
Yeah.
launching things. So I'm excited about that.
Let's see. Let's troubleshoot here in real time. Why I don't have it's a problem with my mail, not a problem. Oh, there we go. My mailbox has been acting very funky the past few days. One thing I do want to point out, Mike, is you said it took Ethereum longer, etc. But I want to give credit where credit is due. We are standing on the shoulders of giants, and that
Hmm.
giant is Ethereum. Our
Yeah.
EVM is built on Go Ethereum. So
Yeah, that's true.
you know, so they cleared the pathway for us. And all right, so now we have our stack done. And yeah, one of the recent features we introduced was the ability to drag and drop and easily rearrange it. So then you go into publish stack, and now you have video, which will create a great video with audio for you. We have grid, which will create a nice preview for you. And now we have slideshow. So let's call this download demo. Now, one of the questions I get frequently is, when will this creator fee be enabled? Well, all the smart contract work for that is done. We just have to enable this and test it out a little bit, and then it'll be available. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we're going to try that for the next buying blitz, we'll have curator fees enabled. That will be amazing, because not only do the artists get paid, but the curators also get paid on Thursdays, which is going to be fun. And I invite anyone who has an interest in art and who has a good keen eye for art to be a curator. It's very simple. All right. So what do we do with slideshows here? Well, we can set an interval, and the primary reason for the primary reason for existing for slideshow, as I mentioned, is for things like exhibitions, marketing purposes. And so we have an info bar, because just showing the artwork would be not very productive. We want to be able to have people license the artwork, and so we have an info bar, and you can choose where you want the info bar. You want it to alternate left, right, or if it's a landscape display, or top, bottom if it's a portrait display. Or you can choose what you want. You want it to be left, you want it to be right, or you just want to hide it. You don't want it. That's also an option. I'm going to leave it for alternate, and we click generate, and it is done. So here we go. Let's open up the slideshow and look at what we got here. So I left the default at 10 seconds, so we're going to have to sit through 10 seconds. But you can basically see how beautifully the slideshow works, and it allows you to curate anything you want. It can be your own collection. It can be so it can be a collection as a creator of your own artwork. It can be a collection as a licensee, as a licensee can go and pick from my artworks and do all that. Now, this looks great. It's amazing, and kudos to our development team. I can't say enough good things about you every time. You guys work so fast. Our team in Brazil is amazing. But this thing has some smarts to it, and I'm going to demonstrate those smarts right now by going into and opening up what we call the developer console. So the reason I do that is because it allows me to do things like change the orientation, etc. So here's what the smarts mean. When I do this, when I change the orientation, the slideshow is smart enough to filter out the artworks that don't work. So if you've got a vertical display, it's only going to show vertical artworks. If you've got a horizontal display, it's only going to show horizontal ones. Square ones always display regardless, and it's designed for a 4K display. So most displays today are 16:9 aspect ratio 4K displays. So you see there the square one, it displays with the background blurred out a little bit, and the vertical ones will display in full screen. Now, if you're wondering what that scan QR code does, it takes you to the listing, but that's just today. Most of you, at least the creators, know that in Exhibit Studio, we have the ability for you to add, when you consign your artwork, media, an image or video for augmented reality. From day one, my vision was to make sure that we built a platform that is augmented reality ready. And I'm very pleased to say that the slideshow is one mechanism for us to get closer to reality on augmented reality. What's going to happen here is the QR code, instead of taking you straight to the listing in the very near future, is actually going to give you options where you either want to go to the listing or you want to go to the exhibit viewer, exhibit augmented reality viewer. And that viewer is going to allow you to look at a slideshow image and have your phone, your mobile, hold it over there and have an augmented reality video, or a 3D image pop up right there in front of you. That capability is already built in. We just have to finish the viewer, and that also is. I have prototyped it before. I've demonstrated it. It works quite well. So we'll enable that, and it hasn't been a priority until now. But now that we've got the slideshow, I'm more inclined to get that feature built out. But there you go, folks. Slideshow, an amazing stack that's going to allow you to curate and display selected artworks at will. Now, I expect that these could be used on displays like the one behind me. Anyone can create an exhibition. Anyone can have it on their desktop or a spare screen if they have it, or just have it in their home. It's just a URL. It's a link. So if you've got any device with a web browser, you're ready for it. Now, I want to caution you, this is not Exhibit Stream. This is a slideshow stack feature. I'll go back to my deck here and explain things a little bit. So let me do that here. Oops, wrong one. Here. So the use cases I mentioned are exhibitions for licensees to display their artworks in non-commercial settings. So I am a licensee of a number of artworks. And if I want to display the artworks I own in a non-commercial setting, slideshow is for that. It can also be used for events. It's a great icebreaker for events, etc., where you have a creator meetup or something, and you have a TV screen there with a slideshow showing. Ordinarily, you would get someone to curate those artworks, throw them into a PowerPoint or Google Slides or something, and then hit play. But this is so much better because all the technology development work is done for you, and it automatically figures out. So you can have some portrait displays, and you can have some landscape displays, and it just works, right? Everything we do, we just want it to have that it just works kind of mentality. And as I was saying, slideshow stack is not Exhibit Stream. So Stream is going to be a subscription service, and it's going to have a very rich set of UX features. So slideshow is bare bones. What you saw was time interval and where you want the info bar to be. Stream is going to be amazing because we have planned amazing transitions, great video interstitial effects, timings, intelligence, where you can designate different types of artworks or colors depending on the time of day, ambient lighting, things like that, filters, lots of amazing things. So Stream is a fairly sophisticated paid subscription service that we envision. And slideshow gives you a tiny taste of what's going to come. And I like what Gus is thinking. It would be awesome to see Exhibit Stream in the Vegas sphere. Wow, that is huge and amazing. And yes, that would be amazing. So yeah, that's slideshow for you, Mike. What do you think of slideshow?
I love it. I think all the different enhancements that we've made over the past week and a half to search are really exciting. The grid feature, obviously the AdSense feature is that one I'm really excited about, and this is just another really cool feature that allows people to curate. So, but yeah, I'm really impressed with what the Brazil team has put together.
Yeah. Now, I want to kind of give artists in particular a sort of mental model to understand where we are headed. If you think about stacks, stacks are carefully curated composed sets of artworks on the right. The links you get from it, whether it's a video, whether it's a slideshow, whether it's the grid, etc., are fixed. They follow your choice exactly. We are introducing here the ability for you to use the same visualizations. And when I talk about visualization, I mean video, grid, slideshow. They are ways to display the artworks, right? So on the right-hand side with stacks, it's your choice. It's curated stacks. What we are adding now is the ability for you to take the left side, which is really filters, and using the same visualization to get the same kind of URL. But here's the important difference. Those URLs are dynamic and live. So if you choose a filter with your collection name or your creator name or AI art or nude art or whatever it is, and you create a URL, that URL will be always live in perpetuity. So if a new artwork comes up, it's going to pop into that slideshow in real time, just like that. And so that's the right side, static, curated, left side, dynamic, filtered. That's what we are going for. So I'm really excited about that, because particularly from a sales and marketing standpoint, the ability to have a link that is always showing you in whatever form factor you've chosen, live stream of new consigned artworks, but filtered according to your choice. That is going to be very, very, very big. And I know I talk about these things, and it takes sometimes 2 or 3, maybe sometimes 5 weeks before I show it. And it's only when I show it that it clicks for people how cool and important that feature can be. Believe me when I tell you, the ability to use these visualizations with dynamic URLs is by far going to be one of the most exciting things in Web3 art, because it allows us to maybe have a screen at a gallery or something, and done with one link forever, up to date. It's amazing. So yeah, we are super excited about that. Next week, I'm going to take some more time to dive into this feature, our composable UI feature, because I feel and we're also going to enhance it, by the way. This only says copy URL. There's going to be another button coming up here, which will allow you to copy HTML. So copy the code snippet that you go paste into WordPress or wherever easily, and be able to see all of that dynamic. So super excited about all of that. And last but not the least, I want to address one question that a few people have asked. Now, this scroller here, the recently sold, we put it early on because we wanted to show that there was activity happening on the platform. I don't think we need to show that anymore. I think it's pretty clear now. We have over 10,000 artworks and lots of I think 3K artists or something like that. And we can see easily, we can check this box, include sold, and see those. But the problem we need to solve, which is the one we are always solving, is one of discovery. In particular, as more and more artworks are consigned, you see that we added the group by creator feature, which addressed some of that problem, because it ensures that there are fewer pages for buyers or art appreciators to go through. But you still have the problem that artworks that were consigned as little as a week ago are like 5 pages in or 4 pages in or something like that, right? How do you address that? Well, I'm very pleased to report that we are going to now have a scroller called Spotlight. It is going to replace, it might augment, so it might still give you the ability to go back to recently sold. But Spotlight is going to choose 50 artworks at random from the whole pool, and it is going to update every 3 hours. So for 3 hours, 50 artworks are going to be showed in Spotlight and be visible everywhere. So everyone will see the same exact Spotlight, and it will change every three hours, giving lots of discoverability and focus to artworks that might have been consigned a while back. Because just because they were consigned a week ago doesn't mean they shouldn't be discoverable. I mean, our goal is to market, right? So we are really excited to have that feature Spotlight, and we are also going to introduce soon crowd features that you expect to see on all platforms, like the upvote and things like that. So we can have a peer reviewed sort of artworks be also showcased, etc. But Spotlight is coming. I'm really excited about this, and yeah. So these are some of the features that we've been working on. Of course, I don't want to forget that creator level is the most important thing. We are working on that. That is coming up, and I'll let out one more secret. We are working on a set of creator tools, including a price calculator. So we are going to give you the ability to just drag some sliders, answer some questions, and be able to get intelligent answers to how you should price your artwork. We want to make sure that people are making good decisions about pricing artwork, and we want to help you with that. So we will also provide a beautiful pricing calculator for you that not only works statically with information you provide, but also analyzes the marketplace, analyzes how other artworks in those categories are priced, what sold, what didn't sell, and gives that to you. So gives you a almost real-time pricing capability. So there we go, folks. That is coming up. Super excited to share all of that. And now let's switch gears and talk about the Vitruveo Ecosystem Ownership Bundle. So just to refresh, folks, the Vitruveo is a bundle to access all major Vitruveo coins and tokens with a single buy. And yes, it includes Vibe, which is a very big deal. Our goal was to launch Veo this week, and I'm very happy to say that we will make it by the skin of our teeth. We'll be launching it tomorrow. But before I go on to that, let me show you the breakdown and the final sort of numbers here. So just to give you an idea, we start Veo bundles at $5. So they are always only multiples of 5. You can buy as many bundles as you want. I believe there are total of you know what, I'm not going to give you a wrong number. We'll have that on the landing page. But basically, with at the minimum level, you're basically getting VUSD credit, Vitru, and Vitro. But at the $50 and up level, you start getting into Vibe territory. So if you want Vibe, it starts at $50, and you get 10 VUSD credit. You get 2 Vortex tokens. Those are NFTs. You get 100 Vitru. Now, that 100 Vitru, 10% is liquid, is active, it's in your wallet, and 90% is staked for 1 year at a 15% APR. It's auto staked for you. And then you get 150 Vitro, which is active and available to you. So it's a linear pricing model. There is no difference whether you buy $50 or $1,000, other than, of course, the multiplier effect, but there's no discounts or anything like that. So this is the model. We've changed it slightly based upon technical constraints, and this is what we are going with. So let's look at how we're going to launch this. I'm very, very, very excited to report that we are going to have Saturday Night Fever. That is tomorrow, Saturday at 8 p.m. PST. And yes, it's going to be the middle of the night for UTC, 3 a.m. But you know what? We've got a party going on. So in the live stream, we are going to do our Magic Squares airdrop. It's been a while since we did that. We're going to bring it back. And also that live stream, no matter how long it goes, whether it's 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, we are going to have this promotion called 100 by 1,000. What it means is during that live stream, the first 1,000 Veo transactions, the Veo transactions of $100 or more, get bonus 5 Vibe per transaction. So that's a $250 value you get for buying $100 worth of Veo. So just to be clear, because we've had some confusion about this before, it doesn't matter how much you buy in a transaction. It has to be a minimum of 100, and you only get 5 Vibe. Well, I'd say only. You get exactly 5 Vibe, no matter how large your transaction is. So if you want more Vibe and you want to spend, if you're going to buy more Veo, then you would have to do multiple transactions of 100 each. And that's fine because it's a linear pricing model. So also currently, if you there is a 20% discount for the Vitruveo community, but we're gonna extend this out. We're gonna promote this out to everybody. So when Veo is launched, it will be available on the following protocols: Binance, Ethereum, Polygon, Base, Avalanche, and of course Vitruveo. So we're and it's going to be USDC on all of these. So part of the reason it's taken a little longer is we added all these different blockchains that are supported. So if you got USDC on Binance, we're good. You got USDC on Ethereum, we're good. Polygon, Base, Avalanche, good. And USDC.pol on Vitruveo. The only way to get the 20% discount is to buy with USDC.pol on Vitruveo. So again, just to repeat, it's per transaction. It's not the amount of a transaction. So if you have a transaction for at least $100, the first 1,000, and they occur during the live stream tomorrow, then you get a bonus 5. After that, the deal is done, off the table. All right. So as a bonus, along with that launch, you're going to see Vitru staking launch in scope. That feature is going to be available. And actually, one of the reasons it took a little longer is because if you recollect on the previous slide, I showed you how 90% of the Vitru is staked immediately, which meant that we had to get the staking solution built out completely. So anyway, Saturday Night Fever, I hope you'll join us. If you don't have to buy, you can just be there for the Magic Squares airdrop and get some free tokens, right? The more, the merrier. And we hope you'll tell your friends about it, and your friends who may not have a Vitruveo wallet but have other wallets, Binance, etc. This is the way to join the ecosystem. So come party with us, have fun. What else can you be doing Saturday night? So come on.
Awesome. People were asking, why isn't your face on John Travolta's body? That would have been.
You don't create your own memes. Other people do that.
Yeah, that's true. I'll get it done. Give me a couple of hours.
Yeah. All right. So that is the exciting news here. Now, I think that's it. I'm going to get to work and get ready for this launch, get ready for Saturday Night Fever. But this was very exciting. We launched a new brand. We announced some new features. We talked about a circulating supply, and we talked about our Veo launch also. So all in all,
yep,
amazing. And this link currently will go to YouTube, but after this session is done, I'll update it to go to the deck. And if I don't update it, I know someone who's going to remind me. Biz will send me a message very shortly and say, hey, Nick, this is not working. So I appreciate that, Biz. But yeah. We'll get that fixed up. Any closing words from you, Mike?
No. Did you want to do some Q&A, or do you want to wrap it up here?
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot about Q&A. Yes, we need to do Q&A. Yeah. Let's do that. Yes.
All right. So guys, definitely bring forth some questions while you've got us on here. Otherwise, if you have to go, you guys can disconnect, and then you can double tap on Discord, reach out to us or the mods. But definitely, if you have questions, go ahead and ask them, and then we'll star them and see if we can go through them. The first one we have is, when does the perks pool actually start, or when is the 24 months up?
I don't know exactly, but it started a while back. I think we are probably at least 6 months into it.
6 months in or something. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah. But we'll see if we can get you the date, Hot Cod, and then we'll get things going. But Mike and Nick, the other day when Nick was talking on the X with Lady Rocket, it seemed like we were never going to try to have VC funds, and we're only sticking within the community. Is that right?
It's a good question. So right now we are a community-funded blockchain, and our intent is to remain that way. But that is only going to give us a short runway. We eventually have to do a larger raise. So the question is, do we now actively pitch to VCs? And the answer is probably not, because we've got our hands full with what we have. So if we have enough capital and enough of a runway, we don't see it. But the journey to doing a large raise takes some time, So right now, what we will be doing with our deck, etc., is laying the groundwork for that. We will do a larger raise in the future, and I'm talking, significantly large double-digit raise. So I would say, somewhere in the $30 to $50 million range. We would be doing that later. So
Mhm.
initially, right now, we are focused on community funding, and that's how we're going to be. But to scale up and to really make this, a multi-billion-dollar endeavor, we have to get additional capital. So that's where we'll be going. So we'd start doing the groundwork for that, but it would take some time to get that institutional capital in.
Yeah, and just to clarify, community funding is not OGs or just OGs.
Yeah,
Community funding
exactly.
is self. A
Everybody.
better way of putting it is self-funding, where we're going out and we're creating the products and then bringing in fundraising. So that's what we're banking on, and then we're still continually working on the VC decks, and then we do have a number of existing contacts that are waiting for certain things, in terms of we get sex listing and once we get volume projections and get those numbers up, they're already primed, ready to go. And so that's why we're working on that deck. But I just wanted to clarify, it's not just OG funding, it's the
Well,
community self-source funding.
yeah, and that's the point of Veo, right? Is to reach
Yeah.
out and go to the entire crypto ecosystem, and that's what we want to do.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't have to win the magic squares, just the $100 transaction. Is that right? Talking about the
Yeah.
Yeah.
The magic squares is a fun thing. You don't have to buy anything. You just show up and attend and have some fun, and maybe you'll win something. But
Yep.
if you want the vibe, then that's the pathway to it, is to buy $100 worth and you get it.
Yeah, if you guys missed some of the vibe promotions that we had before, this is the community's kind of last chance to get some vibe and outside of the general equity pool. But Nick was gracious enough to increase some of the vibe supply in order to satisfy some of the community's requests for more vibe.
Yeah, so it's lottery or buy. That's your
Yep.
choice tomorrow at Saturday Night Fever.
Yep. Nick and Mike, we're waiting for the airdrop, unstaking, and scope before VO launch, please. They're talking about the scope, unstake.
Yeah, so
for Vitruveo and Vitruveo.
Well, it'll be available tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can unstake.
Yeah. Let me just see, guys. We have this one here. What is the exhibit address? Is it live now? No.
Nope.
That's not live yet. It will be coming very soon. We literally just wrapped up the branding, I think, yesterday, if not today. So we've been working on that for the past 4 days. So we have to go through and update all of the Gitbook and all of the docs and that sort of thing. So we'll be updating that probably this week. Age and Zach will probably be working on that.
Yeah, we can. I don't see any problem in letting people know that both blocks and exhibit will be on the app domain. So it'll be .app.
Yeah. It'll be like a coming soon, just like a landing page until we can get it built out. And we covered this one. The unstake button will be coming very, very soon. And I believe that applies to Vitruveo. Yeah, that applies to Vitruveo as well. Nick, is that right?
The Vitruveo is a stretch. It's not going to happen by tomorrow night, but it'll come soon after that.
Okay, great. Let's see. If we've got USDC on Polygon, do we have to bridge it to Vitruveo?
Only if you want a 20% discount.
Yeah. Okay. And a lot of compliments today. I gotta admit, there's more compliments than questions, which is great. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the feedback. It really helps make the job enjoyable.
Yes.
Gives us a kind of barometer just to know that we're on track with some of these things. Okay. Hello, awesome work. When do you plan on wrapping up and paying out the old promotions, like the $10 dex buys for one buy?
So we are doing that gradually. Every week we are getting through some of them. Biz was kind enough to curate for us a list of all the promotions, and we are going through them. I can't give you an exact date by when we'll wrap up because our priority is to keep things going, right? But we realize those obligations we have taken on, and we'll get them done. So Mike and Biz are going to keep me honest in that and make sure that get it done, because Mike doesn't like being DM'd again and again about the same thing. So he'll
Yeah.
surface it. So we have a sort of to-do spreadsheet we go through every couple days, and these things are in there, and at some point they start surfacing to the top, and we get them done.
Yeah,
So we're actively working on it.
Nothing gets missed. I mean, literally every time I get a question, it goes on a spreadsheet. So, and then we have to go through prioritizing that. We're going to make that public. I still haven't had a chance to get that done, but I'll see if I can get that done over the next couple of days. We do want you guys to know that every question you guys ask, in whether it's in Discord or whether it's in an AMA or a DM, everything gets recorded, and whether it's an individual trouble ticket or whether it's just a general idea, everything gets recorded. So thank you again for all that feedback. How is the 20% discount going to work when you buy $100 VO bundle to get the extra bonus 5 Vive? Do you pay only $80 or do you get tokens worth $120?
Yeah, so the promotion here is for $100. So if you're gonna get the discount there, you're still gonna you're at your $80. You would not be eligible for that promotion. So but the way the discount works is, yes, your cost is discounted 20%, so you pay 20% less. The tokens, etc., are remain the same. So if you put the promotion aside, then it would be exactly like that. You would pay $80 and you would get whatever was worth $400. But for this promotion, in this case, you would need to buy $120 with the discount, it would become $100, and then you'd be eligible for the promotion. So
yeah, it's a good question, because if somebody does do $100, it seems, would we just give them 20% more in return?
No,
or a monetary discount of 20%.
It's a monetary discount there. Perfect. But again, the transaction that's on the blockchain needs to read 100 USDC or more. So
that'd be $120 then. It would be
if they are coming in via USDC poll. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's a great question. Super good, Cloud. I'm glad you asked it, because it just helps us wrap our brain around how to present it. RS, nice to see you. Nick, are we going to have a store like hats and etc. for investors to buy, like Exhibit Logo? I can answer this because I've been working on this.
All right.
So yes, RS, we will be having a Vitruveo store. It's going to have all of our merch. The reason why we didn't launch it is because we knew that there were going to be changes coming up. Now we're pretty confident that we're going to be running with what we have. So expect an update on that. Probably in 30 days, I'll probably have something put together for you guys. Let's see. When will we be able to have friends and family outside the community able to buy BUSD for our purchases on the SwapDex or order page with different crypto, such as BNB, AVAX, ETH, etc., like VO?
Yeah, so incidentally, we try and make every kind of task here do double duty. So in creating the VO landing page, we are also effectively creating the VUSD buying page, because now we've got a bridge software on all these different contracts, and we can easily have USDC to be able to purchase VUSD. And just to remind people, we already committed that a majority of those funds would go directly to DEX liquidity. So we want to make sure that our operating capital is addressed in different ways. But yeah, so I can never answer when. I used to do that, but since our dates keep shifting, priorities keep shifting, basically you can already do that with the contract. So if you look at the VUSD contract, there is a mint with USDC function there right now. So if you drop USDC, it immediately gives you VUSD. You can do the same thing with Vitru, but our goal is to have this page up and running. I would say within a month or less.
Okay, great. Is there any update on DEX liquidity for Vibe? Are we going to do anything like that? Probably not, right?
No.
Yeah. Legendary, I'm trying to find your.
I see it. Yeah, it's about it's this one.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. The VO bundle gives 1 Vibe per 50, but during Fever Night, the first 1,000 transactions get 5 Vibes per 100. Is that correct? And are these Vibes are normal and go into our wallets, meaning not a pool?
But technically, it wouldn't be 5 Vibes. It would be 7 Vibes because you would be buying 2 for $100, and then you would get 5 additional as a bonus. And yes, those are normal Vibes that go straight to your wallet.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Great question.
7. Yeah.
Yeah. Phantom wants to know if you and I can do a Saturday night fever dance. So why don't we just set a sales goal and then we'll do one?
I'm happy to do it. So it's cool. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll start practicing. That's pretty awesome.
You know what?
Phantom said that
we should make it a Bollywood dance.
A Bollywood style?
Yes.
All choreographed.
Yeah. Bollywood. Actually, I have an agreement or not a challenge is how I should say, with Kafil, one of the amazing photographers in our ecosystem, to do a Bollywood dance at the next live event. So we can make it a trio and do some Bollywood dancing. And I invited everybody in the ecosystem who would attend this. We'll publish the steps ahead of time, and we'll do a group Bollywood dance, because Bollywood dances, are everyone automatically knows the steps, right? It's going to be 50 people who know it. So that's how they have to do it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be knowing the steps, Nick. That's like my worst nightmare, but I'll do it. I'll
teach you.
All right, you can teach me. Okay, Hendrik's got a question. Sorry. So if I make a bundle purchase of 1,000 and the blockchain reads the 1,000 transaction, do I get 200 USDC back or get an extra $200 worth of Vitru and the rest included in the bundle?
Okay, so this is VO. All right. So it effectively, with this promotion, with this live, only $100 transactions matter. So the $1,000 one would probably be not the best approach to it. You'd want to do 10 transactions of 100 each.
Yeah.
To get the most bang for the buck. And otherwise you would be depriving yourself of almost, I don't know, 45 Vibe or something like that. Right? Yeah.
So, you and I were talking about that before the live, that it would be best to break it up into $120 transactions or something like that, right? With the 20%, and then get the Vibes that way. Exactly. That's probably what I would personally do.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps you guys. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think that's all we have. Thank you so much, Nick. Thanks for the sleepless nights and for all that you've put in, all the work that you put in. I know that there's more updates that we have to get you guys, and hopefully we'll have some more next Friday. But this week is going to be all about the Blocks Gaming, the Vortex gaming system, building out the marketing system for that. And obviously the APR staking or unstaking and Vitro unstaking, getting that updated on scope. Those are going to be our focus over the next 48 hours. So thank you to all the community. Thank you to the creators. Nick, anything to close out with?
I just want to take this one question that's there real quick. Are all consign works one-of-one, or will there be an option? So yeah, we've got elastic additions, etc. coming up. They'll be in the future. But I just want to say, it's not every day that you get to announce a new brand, and I'm tickled. I'm just really excited about this, and I've fallen in love with both of these. And again, I want to thank Age for coming up with the designs on this, they're pretty tight, man. They're really really nice, and I hope the community loves them as much as we do. And yeah, so all I can say is dream on and dream big.
Great. Thanks, guys. Great to see you.